Hi, this is going to be a video where I talk about replacing animation on a new reference. So this is an example of a scene where a couple of things are broken on a character. Sometimes you can fix these things with some very highly technical methods to fix these beads that are coming off of the surface. But when enough things have broken like this, honestly the quickest way to fix the character is just to bring in a fresh reference and move the animation onto the new reference. So I'm going to show how to do that with Atom tools. So here we have this character here. Now these characters are meant to be, so this is Martin at the front of the log, then it'll be Bernie, and I think it's then it's Joachim, and then Patrick. I think that's the order of them. You might want to check that. But basically I know Bernie's at the front here. So I'm going to bring in a Bernie. So we'll go referencing a fresh Bernie. Let's just check that there isn't one already in there. Nope, looks like we're good. So I'm going to go to Assets, Characters, Bernie, reference in Bernie. And then Atom Tools works great, but it just requires a little bit of thought about how to transfer onto the character and what names to use. So I'm going to file Bernie under Characters. Here we are. For the sake of our scripts that we're using, I'm just going to change his namespace to just Bernie. Right. Let's have a look. Then we've got this character. Where is that? This is called Brown 1. I think there's probably a constraint on this somewhere. Just got to find that constraint. Is it on here or here? Nope. I think the constraint is on a group that's above all of them, which is actually kind of handy because it means that I can just drop Bernie underneath the log, and now my new Bernie asset is on the log at exactly the same level as the Brown 1 character that I'm going to be replacing. Okay. So now all I have to do is I'm going to export using Atom. So export animation over here. Bring that up. And I'm just going to export this and call it Bernie to my desktop. Bernie 2, just in case there's another Bernie on my desktop. And I am, let's see. All I want is, yeah, that looks okay. I think it's all the template. Make sure you've got T-Atom template selected when you're doing the export. I think I might have to also select everything in the character. Not completely sure about that, but basically if I right click over here, select set character, that way I have all the controls for this character selected during the export. Okay, and I'm going to go select export all of it and just hit apply. I don't think you need to worry about that error message. I'm not even sure why it's coming up, but it basically worked. You can ignore that error message, that's unrelated. Right, so that's the Bernie export working. Now what I do is I select the new Bernie. He's going to be in here somewhere. Bernie. Where are you? Brown. Is he at the bottom somewhere? There we go. Select all. So I now have all the controls on the new Bernie selected. I'm going to go to Atom Import. I'm going to select that Bernie file from my desktop. I've got the template, T-Atom template selected from here. I'm going to change the time range from file So it's just literally going to pick up all the animation exactly as it was in the exported file. And here's the part that a lot of people miss out on. It's important that you change this to the new template, or rather the new namespace. So think of it as this. The original was brown 1 colon, like that, I think. Let me just check that. Brown 01 actually, to be completely accurate. Just checking that now. So brown 01 colon. That's the animation that we just exported, but we want to put it on Bernie colon, which is the new one that we've brought into the scene, like this. Yep, that should do it. Now I say apply. Let's see what we've got. Interesting, it's not in exactly the same position, but it does look like the animation is applied. Let's check. Probably just have to snap the position. Let me try and isolate these so that we know what we're looking at. So we've got that one and that one. Here they are. Interesting, let's see. Tricky because of course they're following a log which is moving around all over the place. Now what I want to do is select the two top controllers, and I will probably just have to snap that to that. And I have a pivot snap tool here to do that. There we go. So the new character is now in exactly the same position as the old one. Let me just check if the old one's master control was actually animated. Nope, nope, and nope. But there was rotations on it, which could be troublesome. So we need to get the rotations across as well. I think by default, the way we've set things up is it's not going to copy across the master controller, because typically you use the master controller to just place a character and then you don't animate it too much. But sometimes it is animated too, so we don't have a choice. I'm going to have to copy that across as well. So we've already got the position correct because the previous position wasn't animated. So I've already done a snap that just puts it in the right place. But the rotations are animated, so I'm going to have to copy across those. Let me just check there's nothing else animated. In fact, let me do a clean out. I have this little script here where I hit clean and it removes all the animation that is just static animation. That's an option in the menu. I think you can do that. Edit, delete by type, static channels, and that just gets rid of all the junk. It makes it much easier to see what's going on in the graph editor, because all of a sudden all you're looking at is what's actually animated. So the only things animated here are the rotations. So literally all I have to do is go to the first frame of the scene, which is going to be -291. Okay. I'm going to set a key on the new thing on the rotations. New character. Okay. And I'm going to go to the old character and copy these curves and see if this works. Let's just compare. Nope. Oh, wait. Yes. Yes, it has worked. Okay, good. Alright. Let's take a look at that now and up here. There we go. They seem to be following each other. Now they do seem to have a bit of an offset, so we're going to have to figure out what that is. But the animation has copied across. Now it's very possible that the only thing that's offset here is the fact that they might have different values on their master controller, which is pretty easy to fix. Typically I would say that the character you're bringing in is correct, but in this particular situation I think we might break things if we force it to be the correct settings. So let's see if we can find out what they were originally. We've got age 4. We have an age offset for some reason. Okay, there's an age offset, and that's probably what's breaking things. Honestly, we shouldn't have an offset, but I would guess that that's probably what's causing the problem. Just put it in there, see what that looks like. No, maybe there's more to it than that. There's a stalk height change. Yeah, this has got a 0.1 on the stalk height. Okay. All these things are not ideal. I don't really want to make the character look different. Fortunately, the audience can't tell most of the time. So, what else have we got? Scale 6.1, 6.5. Yeah, all these scales and things are off. But we'll cheat, just to make the shot work. 1.1 and 0.9. 1.1 and 0.9. I think that's all the major changes. Everything else is just toggling controls on and off. Okay, so now if I hide brown 1, that doesn't look perfect, does it? That's probably because of all those busted settings we've just applied. Let's have a look. I want to find a shot where I can actually see the problem. Alright, well, let's start undoing some of these settings, because we know we don't want them. So, age offset 0. That's the first thing. That immediately fixes one problem. All the beads are already attached, so that looks okay. What else have we got? Oh boy. Okay, well, we've got some pretty extreme poses here, and this is one of the challenges that we just inherently have. When we put all the high-res stuff in, you've got to pay attention to anything that now looks broken in high-res. It does happen. Control vids on. It looks to me like we've got some pretty extreme stuff going on in here that just needs to be tamed down a bit. And I'll let the animator approach this, since the original animator is already assigned to the shot, Hamid. He can have a look at this and see if you can remove the more extreme stuff that's going on in here. But essentially you have a character that's copied across, and I think it's working. Don't have the best response time in here. Let me turn a few settings. We don't need to see depth of field on while you're doing real-time playback. And just turn everything off up here. There we go. Speed things up. Okay. Yeah, that should be it. Just need to spend a bit of time finessing any extreme poses and things like that. Alright. The same method can be used on the other characters, but watch out for little things like this. So this character doesn't seem to be sitting on the log anymore at this point. And even if you can't see it in your animation, it'll show up when we render it, because we're going to be able to see shadows and things like that. So consider just repositioning things so that it plants itself squarely on the log throughout the scene. And other than that, we just want to look out for intersections. Obviously, if this were visible, we would want to clean that up. If it's not in frame, don't worry about it. Yeah. I'll leave it with Hamid to take it to the next stage now. Thanks.